Hello, everybody. Welcome to our 11th and final installment of Virtual High School's Post-Secondary Information Series. I hope you've really enjoyed them. That's the end for 2018. Today we have the privilege of having Mr. Adam Morris Page. He's the enrollment advisor from Lambton College. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Richard Vallejo. I am a student service representative here at Virtual High School. During the session, Adam's going to tell us a little bit about Lambton College and why it might be a great option for you as you're looking to apply to post-secondary institutions. You have a lot of options out there, and Lambton College, we'd like for you to consider that. Maybe you are already familiar with Lambton, and in case you have some questions, you can certainly ask them during the live video. If you've not heard anything about Lambton College, this is a good thing for you to be listening to, as maybe you want to apply. He'll tell us a little bit about the programs that are available for you, and maybe you know a friend that's interested as well. So, like always, after the brief session, Adam is going to answer some questions. We have a list of questions from students, very frequently asked questions. If you have any more, ask them. We'll make sure that he answers them live. And then afterwards, I guess if you ask any questions after the live, we'll make sure that they get answered. So until then, Adam, I'll just let you tell us a bit more about why Lambton College might be a good option for our students.
Perfect. So as mentioned, my name is Adam. I'm an enrollment advisor with Lambton College. If you're not aware, Lambton College is in Sarnia, Ontario. One of the biggest things about Lambton College is actually one of the smallest things. We're one of the smallest colleges, smaller colleges in Ontario. We have about 3,600 full-time students. But what that means for our students is we have a small community atmosphere. We house about 25 students on average per class. So our students have a lot of one-on-one time with faculty members if they want it. They'll have email addresses, phone numbers. They make office hours available to the students. So they're really, really accessible. With that being said, I just said we are small, but we have undergone over $50 million of new renovations and additions that have happened over the last 2-3 years. Planning obviously even longer than that, where we have a brand new Nova Chemicals Health and Research facility for all of our health sciences programs. We have a brand new fitness center and athletics complex, which we have all brand new equipment in. Inside of the other end of the college, we have our new Center of Excellence in Energy and Bioindustrial Technologies, which is for our technology programs as well as for research, as well as the Nova Chemicals Health and Research Center. We are the #1 college, just to go along with research, #1 college for research in all of Canada. We've been given millions and millions of dollars to do research for many different companies or other institutions. Some of the projects, just as an example of what we're doing right now, is we're working or have done is working with Nestle Canada to create biodegradable water bottles.
Nice.
We've also worked with the RCMP in the past to create new less lethal bullets and just a whole bunch of different areas where our students actually can be incorporated into the research. Last year we hired a number of students to work within it. So not only does it give them some experience outside of the classroom and earn some extra money, also things that they can add on to their resume to hopefully gain employment upon graduation.
Nice.
Some of the student services, I mentioned that we're a small college, so if you need assistance, it's really easy to find. We have free tutoring to all of our full-time students. So if you need that additional help, math, science, whatever it is, we will definitely do our best to get you a tutor. We have co-op and career services. Our co-op department, they assist our students in getting co-op placements. They also assist with career placement. They had just under 3,000 job postings last year that are only accessible to our students. We also had over 50 employers come to the college and set up a table where students could submit resumes to either gain employment while they're in school or after graduation. So doing our best to reach out to community, to employers from not only in Ontario but across Canada. As far as programs go, I don't have time to list all 90 plus programs, so I'll just give kind of a general overview. One of the things for a lot of our students that maybe aren't sure what they want to get into, maybe they're thinking, you know what, I want a health science, but I don't know which one to get into. You can get into like a pre-health pathways to certificates and diplomas, or pre-health pathways to advanced diplomas and degrees, just depending on where the student wants to go. If they want to go 1, 2, 3, or 4-year program after they've graduated from it. Or maybe you're going into a highly competitive program like our paramedic or practical nursing program, and hopefully you do get in directly out of high school. But if you didn't, you could take a pre-health pathways to certificates and diplomas. You take that 1-year program, and you'd actually get higher standing to enter into the paramedic or practical nursing program in the following year. So it gives the student a little bit of an advantage there as well. For business programs, we have a diverse range. One of the newest programs that we offer, though, is esports. We're the first college in Ontario to offer an esports program. And I know most people would think they're going to be going and playing games. And I have even parents that are like, oh, well, why is my kid's just going to be playing video games? But it's a business program, so it has a foundation in business first. So it definitely has an esports component of it, but it is to teach the student any different aspect of the esport. It's almost $1 billion industry now, so a student can move into either field after graduation. We also have a 3-year business programs, accounting, business, general, where they kind of move into human resources, entrepreneurship, marketing, and those have degree pathways as well. We have an agreement with Nipissing University where our students can take a 3-year business or a 3-year business accounting program and then continue on at Lambton College, but get a degree with Nipissing for 2 different pathways too. And just speaking of that, we have over 280 articulation agreements with other colleges and universities across Canada, so that's pretty nice. We were talking before this started about firefighting, not actual fire, where we're really well known for firefighting at Lambton College. We have a pre-service firefighting program, which is a 10-month program. And then if the student wanted to, they could then continue on for an additional 10 months and complete a fire sciences program. If they took both of those, they would get a 3-year diploma in those 2 years, so it's a bit accelerated. With our firefighting program, why I say we're really well known is because we have a really good training facility. We're one of only 2 colleges in Ontario that has a training facility, but we have burn buildings where it's 3-level buildings that we light on fire to simulate structural fire. We have an industrial sector where our students learn how to actually do industrial firefighting. If anybody that's watching has ever been to Sarnia, you probably know that we have a lot of large industry there, so this is to give our students even more opportunity for employment after graduating from the programs.
That's great.
Health, I mentioned we have our brand new, more than $30 million Nova Chemicals Health and Research facility. So our students will be all migrating in January into the brand new facility. We have a wide range of different programs: practical nursing, massage therapy, pharmacy technician, recreation therapy, and many, many more. We have creative design programs like our photography, our hairstyling, esthetician, culinary. With our culinary program this year, we've actually accelerated it into a 12-month format. So our students take the program, and in 12 months, they still get a 2-year diploma out of it. So they're in and out and working very, very quickly.
Wonderful.
For community services, child and youth care, social service worker, early childhood education, one of the biggest advantages of Lambton College's programs are co-ops, field placements, or clinical placements, and the amount of actual real-life experience that you get. Like our child and youth care program, for instance, in that 3-year program, our students get 1,500 hours of field placement, so real hands-on experience, which gives them not only experience to practice in the field, but also build relationships with employers, and hopefully with the end goal of going to college is to get a job after graduating from the program. So this can give you a really solid advantage into that. And then of course our police foundations and our protection, security, investigations. Protection, security being more based off of correctional border security. We're in Sarnia, so we're on a border, so a pathway for that also. Our technology and trades programs, another pillar of Lambton College. We have chemical production, power engineering, instrumentation. We have millwright, welding, carpentry, renovation technician. We recently just had been working with Bruce Power. We now have nuclear accreditation for 3 of our programs. Oh. So our millwright, our instrumentation control engineering technology, industrial automation, which is a really long title, but we call it ISET for short, and then our chemical production and power engineering technology program. So we can send our students to actually do their co-op placements there because they'll have the accreditation to do that and potentially continue on afterwards and work up at Bruce Power as well.
Oh, that's great.
I just want to mention kind of more of the student life side too. We have some really amazing student groups. We have Enactus, which we have a World Cup winning Enactus team, which they won a World Cup beating, I think it was 34 other countries from obviously around the world. Because of the impact of the projects that they're doing, they traveled to Zambia and have started teaching self-sustainability there with farming. So they've actually changed thousands and thousands of people's lives. This is I really encourage you to watch the Enactus video that they produced on our website, because it's quite extraordinary, and I can't even do it justice in this short amount of time. Our little college has beat all of these other countries as well as schools from all across Canada. We went to the Final Four against some of the largest schools in Canada and won that. We were the first college to ever get past the national competition and into the international competition. Wow. Because of the impact that our students are making. Awesome. One of the other fields, let's face it, they promote mental health awareness for the entire school. So they host a number of events when things start getting stressful around college. They'll bring in cars and give our students sledgehammers. Say, go to town, take out a little bit of your stress. If you'd like to, we bring in dogs and have puppy rooms. They have fun day where they're bringing bouncy castles and sumo suits. And around exam times, things obviously do get stressful. So these things can really help our students throughout the year. Ways of connecting with us. We have Student for a Day, where you can actually sit in, any of you that are watching can sit in on actual classes. The only programs that don't do it right at the moment are our nursing programs, but for any of our other programs, if you wanted to come in and actually be a Lambton College student, shadow another student, we'll buy you lunch as well. But it's a great opportunity to get your hands on and into the classroom to give yourself an experience. We have tours all the time. Our scheduled tours are Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 2, or the last Thursday of the month at 6 p.m. But if you can't make those times, we're usually pretty flexible about when you can come in. We do program advising, so if you're in the Sarnia area and you wanted to come in, we also do it over the phone, but you can call us and we can talk to you more in depth about the different programs that we offer. We also have a monthly Return to Learn event. So again, if you're in the Sarnia area, if you just feel like driving in from a little while, we usually have services like our registrar, financial aid, our online and continuing education typically show up to speak with students as well. And then our next big event is Parent Night, which is on January 24th, where parents and students are encouraged to come and get more information about Lambton College. We'll also be paying the $95 application fee at that event. So if you do end up making it down to Lambton, save yourself $100 and apply at that time. Nice. And then our final event, not our final, we have events throughout the year, but the final one that I'm going to mention is Open House on March 30th. This is the biggest event of the year. We have two of them. Our March 30th event from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. It's a great opportunity to meet with faculty and staff. I'll be there. As well. And then there's tours of the facility. We have a draw for free tuition and free pizza. Wow. So if you ever wanted to come down, all of our contact information is on our website, but I actually do the info emails at Lambton College. So if you ever wanted to get directly in touch with me, Adam, you can email me at info@lambtoncollege.ca, and I will get back to you.
Wonderful. Great. Well, those that know me know that with the free pizza, you would have gotten me there. So obviously lots of cool incentives you got in events going on. It sounds like you're taking advantage of the fact that you're small, and that really, yeah, it sounds very personable. So thank you, Adam, for explaining that to us. If you're just now tuning in, Adam just got done telling us a bit more about Lambton College. He actually even gave us some dates as for events coming up in the future. January 24th, that one would be the next one, right? Yep. For the parent and student day. And you said that the $95
Ontario College application fee.
Yes. It's covered. Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Thank you very much for telling us that. So we're going to ask just a few questions, very popular questions that students ask us. One of them, you were telling us before this started about the most competitive programs that you have. Maybe that one, but maybe the one that you have the most popular. What are they, and what are the averages that our students need to have in order to apply to those programs?
So the ones that are typically always at February 1st equal consideration deadline would be our practical nursing, our paramedic, and our Bachelor of Science in Nursing. And the grade point average can fluctuate quite dramatically year to year, so I hesitate to say exact numbers at all. But between, just as a guess, not a guess, as an educated estimation, yeah, between 77 and 88%. But again, it depends on the amount of applications that you get. With the new facility being built, it could be higher, just because we have this brand new area where students are going to be able to take advantage of. So I couldn't say for sure what the grade point average is, but in that kind of range for all three of those programs.
Sure. No, that makes sense. Now, we always encourage our students to, first of all, do well in their courses, and a lot of them do, and then as well to communicate with the admissions office. You can always get the averages there for sure. Now, something that also kind of affected by grade is financial aid options. What do you have as far as financial aid options for students looking to go to Lambton?
So we, of course, OSAP being one of the biggest ones, not offered directly from Lambton College, but I think one of the biggest things right now is we actually had a presentation earlier this week with our foundations office, and they mentioned that we have more scholarships and bursaries than we have applicants to them.
Oh, wow.
So we have thousands and thousands of dollars in free money that people aren't even applying to. So that is one thing that I would really encourage any student that is interested in Lambton College, even if you have like a little bit of qualification for that scholarship and bursary, apply to it. There's so much free money just left out to the student that you can access. Our financial aid office, also our enrollment service professionals, or ESPs, they will sit down with students and do individualized budgets. So if maybe you're getting that big OSAP check, and even like I've done a budget, but I don't usually get like $12,000, $13,000 given to me all at one time. That's supposed to last me an entire year. Right. So they can sit down with the student for that. They also have a calculator on their website. So if the student doesn't want to come in to do that, we do have a calculator on our website that the student can look throughout. We have emergency funds as well for students that can be available. Yeah, so that's kind of.
Yeah, that's even an example of what you said. The staff was readily available for students. That's great. I haven't heard that from other institutions. Now, as far as campus, you did a whole bunch of renovation and all this stuff. Is there, and I might be wrong, it might be a weird question, but residence, is that available for students?
Yeah, sorry, I should have mentioned that in my presentation part. Yeah, of course. We house about 280 full-time students at full capacity. They do have shared rooms. We also have a large student lounge with pool table, foosball, ping pong, a massive projection screen, a courtyard with barbecues, shared kitchen, and laundry.
Laundry, there you go. So being 280, is it guaranteed for first-year students?
It's not guaranteed for first-year students. However, we typically don't fill until a little bit later in the year, until about May, June-ish. Just depends on the year. So although it's not guaranteed, if the student is really considering it, they have a good chance of getting into residence as long as they're thinking about it before, like 2-3 months before school starts.
Right. So don't wait till the last minute. That's
exactly.
Great. Now, when we were looking into Lambton College, one thing that jumped to us was your mobile learning. Obviously, our students are very familiar with using technology to learn.
Definitely.
So you guys kind of have something like that. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Absolutely. So it's using devices in classrooms. So it could be something as some of you may be familiar with things as simple as Kahoots, which is like a quiz, a 4-question quiz where teachers will ask you whatever it may be, and then it can be interactive in the classroom. We also have presentations that are housed in a program called Nearpod. So students can log into it, and as the presentation goes along, if maybe you're in a lecture room and you just want a closer view of the presentation, it'll follow along. And again, they can have questions incorporated in that, and the teacher has an instant readout. How many people are getting the questions right? How many people are getting it incorrect? Do I need to spend more time on it? And they can go back and actually do that right at that moment instead of waiting for the test to come through and say they didn't get this information. They have real-time info. We use augmented reality in some of our apps. We have one called Anatomy 4D, where you get a sheet of paper with an outline of a human being on it, and you grab your tablet or your cell phone and you hover over top of it, and it pops out so the student can see a muscle structure, circulatory system, nervous system. So instead of looking at a flat textbook that never changes, they can actually get their hands on in the classroom.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't have stuff like that when I went to school.
Yeah, me neither.
I remember having to take pictures of the lectures there, so you can remember that.
Or overheads.
Yeah, that's how it works. Now we have a question from one of our students, Charlotte. What options are available for international students?
So a lot of our programs are open for international students. You'd have to look at our website specifically to kind of go down the list of which ones are available for domestic and international students. I would direct most of our international questions to, we actually have specific programs built for international students, whether it be at our campus in Sarnia or out in our GTA campuses. But if you did have questions about specifically, I'd contact them directly at international@lambtoncollege.ca.
Wonderful. Yeah, and you guys, you were saying you have a huge international population, yeah?
We do, yeah. About 900 on our campus right now. Yeah, it's quite massive of our 36, 37, 3,800 population.
Almost 1/3. That's wonderful. Yeah. That's good to hear. Now, just the last question before we wrap up here, Adam. You were telling us a bit more, and I think maybe our students would like to hear about the unique programs at Lambton College. You mentioned one specifically, chemical production.
Yep.
Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our chemical production and power engineering technology, which is the entire title, but we call it CPET at Lambton. So it is production of chemicals. So in Sarnia, we have a lot of chemical facilities, again, Shell, Lanxess, Imperial Oil, those kinds of companies. But we also have a lot of students, even in our local, that think that those are the main companies that you can go into. It's a massive area that you can get into. Anything that uses chemicals to produce anything, like food companies, for instance, like Kellogg's, or whatever. It could be, we've actually sent students to Labatt's Brewery in London. Nice. We've sent students to work at Almer in the past, where they're canning foods because there has to be a certain amount of chemicals that go in those foods to keep them preserve it exactly. Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in the Sarnia area or out in Alberta or even Bruce Power. There's a huge area where our students can actually go and work after graduating.
Wonderful. Yeah, thanks for explaining that.
And sorry, I should just mention they also have 6-month co-op, 2 6-month co-op opportunities. We do our best, obviously, to get them paid co-ops. On average, last year, our students were making about $27 an hour just during their co-op placements. So,
wow,
yeah,
that's wonderful. It sounds very efficient. Now, real quick before we leave, if someone is just now joining us and you wanted to give them a quick, why is Lambton great? Any last remarks? What would you say to them?
So for me, I was telling everybody here earlier that I attended 4 different colleges in my in my tenure. I don't suggest doing that. But what I found about Lambton College and being a small college, it's a community. You find that you're able to find help if you need it. It's really readily available to you. Even the first week of school before school starts, if a student is a little bit concerned or nervous about finding their way around to classrooms, they can come to our offices, our enrollment service advisor office, and we'll take them to each one of their classes to make sure on day 1 that they're comfortable getting around. Our teachers, a lot of our faculty members have a 2-week where they're within 2 weeks trying to learn every one of their students' names. Wow. You're not a number at Lambton College. You're cared for, you're looked after while you're there. It's such an amazing community. I know 3,800 it's not a small number by any means, but we can really look after our students, and when they're in the classrooms and they're learning and you do well in the programs, those faculty members are also going to do their best to assist you in getting job placement after graduating.
Wonderful. That's great to hear, and I know our students will appreciate that. I'm sure your students do appreciate that. So Adam, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to hear more about Lambton. Obviously, with the proximity, we're somewhat familiar with it already, but a lot of things I did not know about. So this brings us to the end of our Facebook Live, and of course, the last Facebook Live for 2018. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching the information sessions, the post-secondary information sessions. Stay in touch with us. There'll be more coming up in the new year. Make sure that you like this video. If you or you know anyone that is interested in Lambton College or any of the programs that Adam here mentioned, make sure you share that video with them. And of course, if you're not following us, follow us, and we'll stay in touch that way. You'll have more information on the coming events in 2019. Thank you very much for joining us, and happy holidays.